the compliments because they make me uncomfortable. But there you go. So she wants a ship that never was, involving people from Degrassi.
Ship that never was. So all right. So we got.
So it
And
doesn't
maybe include Jimmy because she loves him.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be Jimmy Ellie.
Yeah, no,
it can be Jimmy and anyone who he like never dated.
I'll give the people what I want, and at least I've got some foreground. I got something to work with here. So. Jimmy, he's going through physical therapy. Yes. Who's that girl with the dreads he dated? Trina. Okay, so they're at some, local music show. Naturally, but I'm not going to do a music thing. Don't worry. Trina and Jimmy, and they're hanging out, and, Trina is, like, really feeling the vibes, but Jimmy's just not that into it. He doesn't feel comfortable. These people aren't him. He feels like she's forcing him to get out more. And he goes home that night, and he does a lot of thinking. And naturally, he starts to doodle. He starts drawing about himself, about his struggles, what he's going through. But when he comes to draw Trina, he can't help but to think that it always ends up looking like Ellie. And it makes him think. And it makes him think, maybe this isn't right. Maybe what I really wanted was right there for me in the beginning, and I should have realized this. So he calls her up. It's late, but, Ellie, journalistic integrity, she's up until 2 a.m. She's getting the work done. She's got a deadline to catch. This girl says, Jimmy, we haven't talked since high school. Jimmy said, we need to talk. I've been, really searching into my soul in an art that inspired me to do, and they met up together, and she looks at his pictures and his drawings, and she's like, I'm going to try to get them published in my school's art magazine.
Perfect.
That they put out. So they have this artistic publication relationship that obviously leads to some late night editing, page layout and stuff. He's there with the creative process, and one night under the radiant glow of the computer screen, they look at each other and they share that kiss that should have happened so long ago. And that was the bedrock of so many more kisses to come under the light of a computer screen.
Perfect.
I love it.
And that's what
No, that's lovely.
That was beautiful.
That was so sweet. I like that one.
That was
Thank
great.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. I hope you loved it as much as I did.
Especially since they love the special guests.
Exactly. So you got like a 2-for-1 here. All right, so that's all the Grapevine that we have. If you would like to be featured on the Grapevine segment, you can tweet at us at DegrassiPod. You can find us on Instagram at DegrassiPod. You can email us at whateverittakespodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Tumblr, whateverittakespodcast.tumblr.com. We're all over the place on all of the podcast streaming apps and the like. We're also on Patreon if you want to check us out there. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, why don't you rate, review, and subscribe to us? That would be super cool. And if you leave a review, you too could have your own Degrassi-inspired fan fiction, possibly made up by a special guest, possibly made up by us. Either way, it's fun. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at HollandTacular.
And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at KelSucks with a Z at the end. And Sean, where can the people find you? What do you want to plug and what do you want to recommend?
All right. The people can find me on Instagram at Sean P. Quigley. Simple enough. SEAN, the good Irish way, naturally. You can listen to my podcast. It's The Hottest Girl in Class. We have new episodes every Monday, or at least we try to. Lately, that hasn't so much been par for the course. And you can find us on Instagram at Hottest Girl in Class, or alternatively on Twitter at HGIC Podcast. I'm pretty sure that's it. But either way. And I would like to recommend a podcast that is, I guess, a reimagining of one of my favorite garbage shows, which is Locked Up Abroad. It was a show that was on that just shows people how, like, they shouldn't do bad things in other countries or they find themselves in Indian prisons for 30 years. And now they have a podcast version of it, which is just, boy, it is pure suspense. It is lots of fun. It is worth checking out.
Interesting.
Yeah, Locked Up Abroad podcast is fucking great.
Wow. I guess I'll recommend something I literally just started watching last night and haven't even finished the first episode, but I just started watching The West Wing because I'm checking it out. So maybe join me. I don't know. I'm going to recommend that. It's a glowing recommendation, I know.
That is a glowing recommendation. I've also been rewatching the original series of Doug recently, which has been really fucking rewarding. Because a lot of shows from that era that don't hold up, but Doug does, Hey Arnold does, and Rocko's Modern Life absolutely does. And boy, I'm just super into Doug right now. It is fucking solid stuff. Just a boy coping with crippling anxiety in his journal with his dog. It's right up my alley.
Perfect.
I'm going to recommend an artist, Dave Polo, and that's Pollot, and his Instagram is Dave Polo Art. But he takes like classical paintings and sometimes some even just like Thomas Kincaid type of shit. But he paints like modern, like random things into it, and usually like nerdy stuff. Like this is one. It's good. They're just
It's like Luke Skywalker riding a tauntaun in like a winterscape.
Yeah, they're all so good, and sometimes he'll like post like up like ones in the works. Like this is like Thor throwing his hammer in like this like beautiful painting of like mountain and like wilderness, and it's just Thor is just.
This sounds up my alley. I get it. This sounds like the kind of art that I would buy and my girlfriend would not let me put on the wall, which is my favorite kind of art.
Yeah, that sounds about right. This one is just a gremlin in like a classic. Like Dutch still painting. Yeah, it's very good. It's beautiful. So cool. And this is he does
Wednesday Addams in like a portrait with another little girl. Yeah,
it's extremely good. Dave Polo art.
All right. Well, that is all that we have for you guys today. Thank you, Sean, again for joining us on this episode. You'll have to look ahead into season 9 to see what episode you want to be on in that season as we crawl toward the dark ages of Degrassi.
I am the dark ages are my favorite. I am very excited for the dark ages.
All right, well, that's semi-encouraging.
You're going to be around a lot for that because we
might need you to help us through it.
We're going to need some help.
I'll be there.
And thank you to Jay, as always, for providing us with our lovely theme song. And thank all of you for listening. Goodbye, Panthers.
Bye, Panthers.